It is now our privilege to present His Excellency, Mr. Amr Al-Dabbagh, with an honorary degree.
His Excellency, Mr. Amr Al-Dabbagh, visionary global leader, brilliant business executive, devoted humanitarian. As the chairman and CEO of the Al-Dabbagh Group for over 30 years, you have overseen an incredibly successful family-owned business conglomerate that has been recognized among the top companies to work for in Saudi Arabia. Your service as part of the Saudi Arabian General Investment Authority led to a dramatic rise in Saudi Arabia's rank in the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business Index and in the amount of foreign direct investment into the kingdom. Ultimately, your success in business is perhaps only overshadowed by your passion as a philanthropist. For every dollar distributed as dividend, you ensure that a corresponding dollar is devoted to strategic philanthropy. In that very same spirit, you also established Philanthropy University, helping nonprofit leaders make an impact around the world. In writing Omnipreneurship, an organized approach to living a life of meaning, you captured your sage advice and your true definition for success, creating a piece described as a wonderfully inspiring guide to living a life of purpose. His Excellency, Mr. Amr Al-Dabbagh, in recognition of your remarkable career and your unwavering commitment to investing in those dedicated to making a difference, the University of New Haven is proud to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Administration, honoris causa.
Thank you. For obvious reasons, Amr Al-Dabbagh could not be with us today. He's watching us live from his home in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. I've gotten to know him quite well over the years. He's been a great supporter and friend of the university. He set as his goal early on to help feed tens of millions of young people around the globe and to bring them out of hunger, and he's done so. A remarkable human being. Your Excellency, Amr Al-Dabbagh, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors of the University of New Haven, I am pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Business Administration, honoris causa. Congratulations.
President Kaplan, trustees, faculty members, proud parents, and all charges here in person and virtually, congratulations, especially the class of 2021. I promise none of you will ever forget your COVID-19 senior year, no matter how hard you try. Graduations are a time to focus on the present or to share advice about the road ahead. But today, I want to take a different approach, one borrowed from my book, Omnipreneurship, which sets out my methodology to building a life of meaning. So instead of focusing on now or the next few years, I invite you to imagine yourselves at the age of 80. Looking back at your lives through a rear-view mirror. As you carry out this exercise, ask yourself the following 4 questions. If you do, I promise that when you reach the age of 80, you will look back on your life as joyful, complete, and free of regrets. The first question requires your full attention. Did I listen more than I spoke? We live in a time of distraction and interruption. Whether we are posting or commenting, many people are making their voices heard widely and loudly. Nearly lost in this flood of words is the art, you could even call it the muscle, of attentive listening. Most people, in fact, are really good at not listening. What they miss again and again are other people's deep desires to feel heard, respected, and connected with. Attentive listening, which is an acquired skill, allows us to broaden our knowledge and perspective. It helps us understand the people we disagree with and exposes the colors of what we have in common. You have 2 ears and 1 tongue, my father liked to tell me when I was young. So listen twice as much as you talk. A college degree is a huge achievement. It's also just the beginning of your education. In a world where knowledge expands by the minute, remember to lean forward and listen. The second question is this: did I taste the salt of the ocean? Let me explain. You may be too young to know it, and maybe I should keep this a secret. But the biggest enemy we have is time. 2 years ago, my eldest brother was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He had no obvious symptoms. Had you looked at him, you wouldn't have thought this man is sick. 9 months later, he was gone, like that. It was a tragedy, a wake-up call, a reminder that in the face of a sudden, unpredictable event beyond our control, we must remember to appreciate our lives every day. Most people plot their futures in distinct chapters and seasons: childhood, middle age, old age, a work life, a family life, a spiritual life, as if each one is separate from all the others. This fractured and unbalanced approach keeps us from making the biggest impact every day in our short, precious lives. The Dutch author Alexander Den Heer once wrote, "Don't spend your entire life building a ship without tasting the salt of the ocean." Time is precious. Don't waste it. Remember to cherish the life you lead and the happiness that surrounds you today and every day. The third question is, did I achieve what I set out to accomplish? This question makes me think of my niece, Maryam. When Maryam received her degree in dental medicine, I asked her, "Has your dream come true?" Reluctantly, she told me that while her work would be a good source of income, it wouldn't be genuinely fulfilling. Her dream was to have an impact someday on 1 million people. I urged Maryam to think about the question I ask you, to imagine her life at age 80. At the time, the news in our part of the world was dominated by heartbreaking images of the Syrian refugee crisis. Inspired to help, Maryam came up with the idea of offering the incoming refugees free dental care. But how could she raise money and awareness to advance this cause? Well, despite never swimming competitively before, Maryam became the first woman and only the third person to swim the entire 100-mile length of the River Thames in England, from source to end. Her incredible 10-day-long achievement drew the attention of donors and led to opening her first ever free dental clinic in one of Jordan's largest Syrian refugee camps. So far, her clinic has provided dental care to many thousands of refugees, and Maryam is well on her way to achieving her dream of impacting 1 million people before her 80th birthday. A college degree can certainly help you get a good job, but a job is just one of the ingredients needed to live a fulfilling, rewarding life. Which leads me to the final question. Did I go out on a limb? Maybe you think you are not a risk taker. You would never skydive, or go whitewater rafting, or start a business in your garage. But what aspect of our lives isn't risky? Driving a car, starting a job, choosing a partner, raising a child, attending college, even giving a graduation speech. They are all risks. Everyone here has probably taken dozens of risks this morning without even knowing it. So why not take a risk on your bigger ambitions, the ones you may be putting off? To paraphrase Mark Zuckerberg, in a world that's changing as fast as ours, the only strategy guaranteed to fail is not taking risks. In short, pursuing a dream without knowing the result is a risk that's always worth taking. I promise you will never regret it. Did I listen? Did I taste? Did I achieve? Did I dare? Those are the questions I'm asking you to reflect on as you celebrate your 80th birthday. I said there were 4 questions, but it turns out there are 5. The final question I urge you to think about today. What steps can I take now and this year and next year that will close the distance between my future self and me? Just by asking this question, I guarantee that your life will become more intentional and more present. I aim, therefore I am. To put it in another way, we become who we set out to be. In closing, I wish you a very happy graduation and a very happy 80th birthday. I have to say, most of you look incredibly youthful.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for those powerful words and for your incredible support of the university. I've actually been in that library in his home. I believe there are over 9,000 books there in Arabic and in English. He certainly hasn't read them all, but he's read many of them. And around the room are pictures of His Excellency and his father before him, with every American president going back to Dwight Eisenhower. I don't know if you know this, but His Excellency helped us bring virtually President Bill Clinton to speak to our students. Bill Clinton, for those of you who don't know it, President Clinton taught at the University of New Haven when he was a student at Yale. So this is an individual with incredible connections. I hope you'll all have the honor of meeting him someday.